Hey y'all, my name is Allie Lindenberg and I'm a chapter leader from Greensboro, North Carolina. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about labels and finding yourself. I am about to graduate high school in about 2 weeks, which is very exciting, kind of crazy and a little bit bittersweet. But basically, I thought that by the end of high school I would know exactly who I was. Since I am now in this position, I can say that that is not the case. And I kind of want to share with you guys what I've learned about that. I feel like labels are so present in high school, whether it's fat, skinny, smart, stupid, cheerleader, jock, outcast, they're all there, they really are. And because high school is the first time where people are really starting to find themselves, labels can be really dangerous because it's psychologically proven that in high school, you're driven to belong to a group. I mean, it's part of our human nature, but especially in adolescence, you want to belong, and you'll do just about anything to do that. And if that requires attaching yourself to some concept of what you're supposed to be, or what you're supposed to be doing, you'll do that. And that's exactly what labels are. I've realized since my freshman year of high school that growing and learning and, growing up is partly about stripping yourself of these labels. I know for me personally, ever since I was a young girl, I have always been really a really deep thinker, and I've also always wanted to know the deeper understanding of something. So I can remember being 7 years old and saying, "Mom, who am I?" And she'd say, "Oh, well, you're Allie Lindenberg, obviously." And I'd say, "No, but what does that mean? Who am I? What kind of person am I?" And she's like, "All right, you're 7. You don't really need to know that yet." But I always felt the need to. I always felt that urgency. And now that urgency is dissipated because I've realized that labels are overrated and that you don't need to identify yourself by these words. They can't capture your worth. And I want to draw your attention to a phrase that I hear almost everyone say. And that phrase is, "I don't know who I am." Right? You hear people say that all the time. And I feel like society has placed so much pressure on the who, Who is where we, expect that our worth comes from. It's the labels. It's what society tells us that we are. And everyone gets so flustered over it. We have to have a who. We have to know exactly who we are. But if you draw your attention to the I am part of the sentence, "I don't know who I am," you realize that I am being is it's more than enough. And you realize that by just being here, you figure out more about yourself than you do by clinging to these labels. So this is a realization that I've come to, in the past few months, and I'm very grateful for it because it's allowed me to go into this next step of my life that's filled with uncertainty, knowing that it's okay to be a little bit lost, and it's okay to not know who you are all the time. Because in the words of one of my best friends and another girl, part of I Am That Girl, she says that, knowing who you are is overrated, because if you're not growing and you're not learning all the time, you're doing something wrong. So I totally agree with this because every day is a new beginning. So we should embrace change and embrace, growing and learning, and hopefully by the end of our life we'll have a better understanding of who we are. But may we never subject ourselves to just belonging to a label. And I want to know what labels you guys attach yourself to, or I want to know if you guys are comfortable with, just being. So comment below and let me know. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great week.